Hello, it's Jenny from Ginger Ninja Crafts. How are you? I hope you're doing well. I am here because it is the 5th of the month, so it's time for a fancy fold card challenge. And this month we are doing a pop-up easel card. So this is a collab that is hosted by the very lovely Monica Wikluska, aka Paper Mona. And there is a little group of us that 5 p.m. on the 5th of the month, we all share the same type of fancy fold card in a video, and it's amazing the variety that you get in those videos. So I hope that you will check out the ladies. They're all linked below in the description box. If you would like to join in, you are very welcome to. You can make a video using the hashtag that is in the title of this video. You could share your photograph or video on social media, and again just use the hashtag, and be sure to tag Monica so that she knows that you're participating. And we also have a Facebook group. Could you hear my little brain whirring around there? So we have a Facebook group which also is linked below, and you can share photographs of your make for this month's fancy fold in the Facebook group, and it's a lovely bunch of people. So I hope that you will hang around for a little while and see me making my card. This is the sample that I did first. To me, it's not an easel card, but it's very easy to make, and it folds pretty flat, so it should go through a normal stamp. So this is the tutorial that I followed to get the hang of it, and then if you would like to see how I adapted it ever so slightly, and that it'll still goes through a 6x6 envelope in the post, then please keep watching. So for this card, I want to use this dove topper. This is a card for a couple that got engaged, and this is going to be their Christmas card. So I wanted to make it a little bit wider. So I'll put the measurements for my original card and the card that I'm showing you how to make here, but it's still just from one piece of A4 cardstock, and the base piece measures 5 3/4 by 11 rather than 4 1/4 by 11, and then the strip measures 2 inches by 11 instead of 1 1/2 by 11, and I've scored it exactly the same as the first one. So the 5 3/4 piece, I scored it at 1 inch, 2 inches and 6 1/2 inches, and the 2 inch wide strip is scored just once at 5 1/2 inches. So you end up with this little stepper at the front, and then you've got the long piece, the longer strip, which adds that kind of pop out panel, and as you can see, it will fit into a 6x6 envelope, which is what I am wanting to keep it to. So this is a Hunkydory set, as you can see, and it comes with the 2 kind of backing pieces and the toppers. So I'm just trying to decide which bits I want to add to decorate my card base. And I really like the kind of goldy bit. I think that will stand out really nicely. So I do a weird mix of cutting with my guillotine, but also for the smaller measurements, just drawing it out with pencil, marking it with pencil and then cutting it with scissors, because I can't really see kind of under 2 inches really. I can't really see very clearly on my guillotine, so I'm still in search for the perfect guillotine, but this one was free, so when my husband's work was closing down, so that's pretty close to perfect for me. So yes, I'm putting this strip on the front, and which way will it go, which way will it go? And then that's going to look nice, the dove sat on top of that. So now I need to have a decoration along the little stepper bit and then the back panel. And again, I'm going to go with the sort of goldy coloured bit. And there's a couple of sentiment options that I could use. So I'm just comparing and seeing what's going to look nice against that. and then I am just drawing it out by pencil. It is easier. So yeah, drawing that out and then cutting it, and then I'm going to stick that down. I have to say, I'm not sure why this is called an easel card, because to me an easel card, the back of it sits flat and then you sort of fold over the top so that it sits up against, you know, a stopper along the back. But to me, this is like a pop-up stepper card rather than a pop-up easel card. But I have to say, it's really easy to do. I can't wait to see what everybody else has done for theirs. I think you could really easily batch make these if you needed to make a few thank yous or Christmases or something. I think if you've got kind of toppers and things that you could use, it's definitely one that you could batch make. So I'm just going to use that sort of teal part on the back, and I will stick all the measurements in for the panels and things that I'm using. The tutorial which I watched, she did some stamping. So she stamped the pattern onto her card base, and then she added a stamped and coloured focal element. So you can do whatever you like. You could add die cuts. I just happen to have some of this Hunkydory kits, and I knew that I wanted to use this for my good friends because it's a sort of card for a couple. They've been a couple for years, but they've just got engaged, and I'm very excited. So now I just need to decide how far along I'm going to put the 2-inch strip. What else I'm going to put on? How will the card all kind of go together? Can you hear the little cogs whirring in my brain as I struggle through this? So then I'm just going to draw that on, then realise I didn't have it very straight, so try and straighten it up a bit. And sticky tape. I probably would normally have used wet glue, but I think the Hunkydory is a wee bit shiny, so I'm just putting on the double-sided tape just to get it sticking on instantly for the video, so that I can just keep going with making rather than put it aside for the glue to take effect. So, but you could use whichever you prefer. So then I am just rubbing out the line that I drew so that you don't see that from the back of the card. And I'm going to stick that in place. Make sure you've got it the right way up with the fold at the top. And make sure the doves are the right way up too. So there we go. That was easy. And then I am going to add a little bit of tape, just for the same reason. It just sticks quicker when the card that is going on is that little bit shiny. So that's going on there. You can see how if you had all your pieces all cut, you were kind of doing each stage in a batch making way. It could be very quickly done, I think. And I'm doing that thing where I've partially folded back the tape on the double-sided tape just so that I can kind of get it put into place and then stick it down easily. So that is the basic structure. Now it's just deciding about the sentiment. So I'm going to put that one on the front there, and then I could put a little piece or another little dove. I think I'll put the other little dove. And I've just put a little bit of the tape, and then I'm also going to put a wee bit of glue around it for this to stick onto that bottom stepper element. The other thing I really like about this card is it is just one piece of A4 for the base. Quite a few of the cards we make in the Fancy Fold card challenge, you maybe need to use up quite a bit of cardstock, whereas these are not too bulky and they don't take up too much card, which is quite nice if you're trying to use what you have and not have to go and buy lots more stuff. So this one I'm just adding a little bit of some little foam tape squares because I just happen to have them in that wee drawer next to me, so I'm just going to use them up and stick that on. Stick it on there, and then I decide it's a little bit boring, so I want to get some sparkly gems on there, so I'm just going to add some little gold ones. Oh, I'm adding a bit of paper on the inside. So the same measurements that I used for the green panel is what I'm cutting for the inside. I've just cut a piece of lightweight white cardstock, and I'm going to add a little bit of detail on the inside just to make it feel like it's a bit more special than a card out the shop. So I'm just going to stick that in. I think it says sent with love or something. And yeah, that's that. So now is the time for some gems. And I always find you've got to get the right sort of shade of gold, if you like. You get some light ones and some darker ones and some that are a bit more kind of orangey. So I'm going to use these little ones. I don't know where I bought them from, but they've got like really thick layer of glue underneath, which sticks out from around the gem. So I'm just putting some of my Nuvo glue down and then sticking the little gem without the adhesive that they come on top of that. And then I'm going to put one down there and one behind as well. And I realise after I've done this that actually when you stand the card up, obviously that strip moves a little bit, so you don't necessarily spot that second gem. So I'm just going to put another one there so that one is visible when the card is flat and the other one should be more visible when it's standing up. So I think that's all the gems I put on. Then I decide there is quite a lot of gold detail, and I think I could just complement that with a little bit of Nuvo drops. So I've got the gold one and the gold glitter, and I'm just adding the gold glitter into all of the little stars that are on the toppers and on the pattern sheets. And then the gold without the glitter I'm putting at the centre of the flowers. They're sort of Christmas rose kind of flowers that are around the doves. So just to give it a little bit of something special. And I think it looks quite pretty. So this one is now the slightly larger size. And that is the original measurements. So I hope that you enjoyed. I hope that you enjoyed that video, and this is the finished card that I made. I've just added a few little Nuvo drops and gems to finish it off, and this is going in my pile because this is for a couple who are very good friends of ours. So that is their Christmas card made. I'm going to remember who all the different cards that I've made for. Maybe I need to actually write them and put them in an envelope. That's too organised. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed today's video, and let me know in the comments if you're going to have a go with this. It is pretty easy. You can make even this larger one made out of one sheet of cardstock, and I think you could easily batch these if you had some toppers that you wanted to use, or even if you were making some of your own. So yeah, I'd love to hear what you think in the comments below. and hit that like button if you've enjoyed today's video, and I'll be back very soon with another crafty make. Bye now.